Hello everybody and welcome back to Teensy Vintage. This is Teresa. Today we are making a mixed media collage on a gel print that I made. I don't remember when I made it, but I found it in my stash of papers. And we're going to use this photo of a group of campers from a 1981 summer camp yearbook that I found at the thrift store. I didn't even know summer camps made yearbooks. This is nuts. Maybe I didn't go to the right summer camps. Anyway, I saw this and I fell in love, and it was $3, and how could I say no? So today we're going to be collaging a bunch of papers from my giant pile of paper. A lot of these, as you can see, are roll off, brush off, scrap pages. They just have all kinds of ink and paint and other markings on them, and what I'm going to do is just tear them up and glue them down and make a background with them. So right now I'm just literally tearing off strips of these papers, gluing them, and using my scraper to make sure that I don't have any air bubbles or wrinkles. The paper with the gel print, the original, the substrate there, that's a pretty sturdy piece of paper. It's heavy cardstock, good quality paper, and it should stand up no problem to all the glue and moisture that I'm going to throw at it in a little bit. You want to make sure that you have something sturdy as your substrate. The pages that I'm tearing up, those are all just copy or printer paper. So they're much more lightweight, and they all have different textures because they all have different amounts of paint or ink or whatever on them. And right now I'm just trying to get a nice big background that's kind of a vague triangle shape, a mountain shape maybe. And I am going from, really irregular torn pieces to pretty specific shapes. So I just put down a triangle there, and the more I glue down, the more specific I get. So basically we're going from chaos to, well, not order so much as intentionality. How about that? And every so often I put my focal back down just to make sure I'm on the right track. And yeah, so we're going to be gluing down a variety of pages here. And you will see that I'm also going to cut out, there were some individual portraits in the yearbook as well. I mean, this was an actual yearbook, y'all. It kind of blows my mind. But hey, good on ya. We're going to add those right there. And I'm trying to see if this funky die cut will work, this circle. The blue circle does not end up working, unfortunately, but you know what? Sometimes you pull something out of the scrap box and it looks cool, and it just doesn't work with your piece. It's okay. It goes back into the scrap box and maybe it'll work better next time. So, yeah, now I'm actually cutting pieces that I'm going to adhere to our page. And this is more of the intentionality that I mentioned earlier. And I'm cutting out some triangles. And I'm just trying to give a little cohesiveness. Cohesiveness. Yeah. It's late. I'm out of vocabulary. But yeah, just gluing down a few more triangles just to give your eye somewhere to go, basically. And we're going to put down a little more yellow. That's a nice pointy bit as well. Yeah, there we go. All right. I think it's almost time to glue down our focal. Oh, one more scrap. And the really nice thing about using the glue stick is that if you happen to put down your piece and it doesn't go exactly where you want it, you do have a couple seconds to lift it up and move it. just like I did here. It is repositionable for, you know, a couple seconds, I would say. It does dry pretty quickly, so make up your mind. Now we're going to add some paint. And I'm trying to decide, do I want to use bright yellow or bright yellow? These are two Dylusions paints. One is Lemon Zest and one is Lemon Drop. And I ended up going with Lemon Zest because it is more of a yellow. Well, Lemon Drop is more neon. I don't think it's actually a neon paint. It's just really dang bright. And even though this page is going to turn out to be ridiculously bright and colorful, which is awesome, that yellow was too yellow. So we're gonna go with Lemon Zest, and all the supplies, of course, are listed in the description below. So what I'm doing is going in with this yellow with a makeup sponge, and I am adding the color to the background to make the collage pop. And that is looking pretty good. Okay, so you can still see the original gel print, my mono print that I've got there in the background, but now there's yellow on some of it. And then the next thing we're going to do is get some Payne's Gray acrylic. Payne's Gray is a great color. It is kind of a bluey, dark gray, very moody. And I wanted to echo the black and white group photo a little bit, so I'm bringing in Payne's Gray to balance out that and give some nice contrast. I'm going to go around the edges here, darken them up, and this just brings in a really beautiful contrast to the piece. And the cosmetic sponge makes it really easy to put that color down. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. And now we're going to go in with yet another crazy bright color. This is Rose Madder. This is a super pigmented color. I mean, it is pink. In fact, it's so pink that I am wiping off quite a bit of it because it's just too pink. Which sometimes you want that, but in this piece I was like, hold on a sec. So I'm going to water down this paint quite a bit to get a more watercolor effect and to add more and less to give a textured look to my page. So we originally got some texture with the collage papers, themselves, but now I'm going to go in and I'm going to add little puddles of the pink paint to give some drippies here. We're going to add some more water, get a nice drip look going. Oh, drips are so good. Yes, there we go. And I'm also going to add little bits of pink here and there just to cover up any white spots that might still be showing on our original substrate, and to, again, add a little more texture. Now, since the yellow paint is already dry, some of it might be a bit orange, but they're not really going to blend. And that's not my intention here. My intention is to be a wholly separate color and to be a pink and a yellow. And some of it is transparent and will show some yellow through the pink and vice versa, but for the most part, I wanted them to be separate. I'm also going to give a little bit of pink on the fellas in the pictures at the bottom and add a couple more little puddles. That's just going to make a more intense or a concentrated pink on the page. All right. Goodbye, super bright pink. This is coming together really nicely. It is super bright, and we want to make sure everything's nice and dry. Now I'm going to go in with my black Stabilo Marks All pencil and add some black around the edges just to give this piece a little bit of depth. I'm also wiping off any water that got on the side of my paintbrush. Not the bristles, just the sides of the brush. That way, no, extra droplets of water will slide down your brush onto your work and cause, a lot of flooding of the pencil. So I'm going to go through here now and try to find something, funny or relevant or weird as my little sentiment. These are all cutouts from a really crazy Nancy Drew novel I found at the Goodwill bins recently. None of those work, so I end up going with Tim Holt's Small Talk and found the Adventure Awaits sticker, which I thought was pretty fitting for this group of fellas at summer camp. Hopefully they had a lot of good adventures back in 1981. They didn't have the internet back then, kids. So it was go outside and play. Really, go outside and play. So I'm going to add a little more Stabilo here just to define some of these pointed pieces of paper. Make those stand out just a little more. Yes, this yellow and pink, they're pretty dang bright, y'all. Usually I'd go in with a little gesso or a little white paint to kind of push back some of the color, but you know what? I was feeling sassy, so I'm keeping it. I'm going in now with my black Posca paint pen to do some mark making. Good old dots. Any mark that you like to make, just repeat it a few times and it will look good. Odd numbers are great. And just add a little here and there, and it just, makes a little interest on your page. And then the last thing I'm going to do is go back with my Payne's Gray one more time just to darken up the corners and the edges to give it a complete look. And I'm feeling pretty good with this, so it's time to sign it and date it. Thank you so much for watching, y'all. I appreciate you. And remember to like and subscribe.